If you watch investing content online, you'll notice something pretty quickly. Almost all of it is American. They talk about Roth IRAs, 401ks, and tax rules that simply don't exist if you live in the UK. So when someone here tries to start investing, it can get confusing pretty fast. You hear people online saying things like, just max out your Roth IRA, and just sitting there like, great advice, except I live in the UK and can't even open one. So in this video, I want to walk you through the strategy I'm personally using to invest here in the UK, the accounts I use, how they compare to US investing accounts, and how I'm structuring things right now at 21. Most investing online is American for a pretty simple reason. The US is the largest stock market in the world, and a lot of finance creators are based there. So naturally they talk about things like Roth IRAs, 401ks, tax advantage retirement accounts. But the UK actually has its own very powerful investing tools, and once you understand them, they're actually pretty good. In the US, one of the most well-known investing accounts is the Roth IRA. The idea is simple. You invest money after tax, and then when the money grows over time, you can withdraw it tax-free later on in life. In the UK, we have something very similar, and that's the ISA. More specifically, the stocks and shares ISA. Anything inside an ISA grows completely tax-free. No capital gains tax, no tax on dividends, nothing, which makes it extremely powerful over long periods of time. Before we go any further, I'm curious about something. If you're investing here in the UK, or actually just around the world, what platform or funds are you using right now? Are you using something like Trading 212, Vanguard, Fidelity, or something else? Drop it in the comments. I'm always interested to see what people are using. Right now, the ISA allowance is $20,000 per year. That means you can invest up to $20,000 each year tax-free inside these accounts. Now, realistically, most people in their early 20s are nowhere near that limit. I know I'm not. If I was investing $20,000 a year right now, this video would probably look very different. But it's still important to understand the structure early, because once your investments start growing later in life, those tax advantages become extremely valuable. So, what does my actual setup look like right now? I use two different types of ISAs. The first is a savings ISA. That's mainly where I keep my emergency fund. It lets me take advantage of high interest rates while keeping the money safe and accessible. Because before investing aggressively, I think it's really important to have a financial buffer. Life happens. Unexpected expenses come up. And having an emergency fund stops you from needing to sell investments at the worst possible time. Then, my first investing account is a stocks and shares ISA. Inside that ISA, I focus mainly on index funds. Right now, the main ones I'm investing in are Fidelity Index World Fund, P Accumulation, and Fidelity Index US Fund, P Accumulation. These funds give exposure to thousands of companies around the global market. So instead of trying to guess which company is going to win, you're essentially buying a piece of the entire market. But I'm also slightly tilting toward the US market, because historically, the US has been one of the strongest performing markets over long periods of time. So it gives the portfolio a bit more of an aggressive growth tilt, while still staying diversified. Another thing quietly working in the background is my workplace pension. I'm fortunate to be in a company that matches contributions up to 6%, which is something I absolutely take advantage of. But that's essentially free money. And if there's one rule in finance, never turn down free money. Even though retirement feels a long way away at 21, those contributions will build quietly over time. Investing is one piece of the puzzle for me, but it's not the only one. Alongside investing, I'm also building a property business, specifically rent-to-rent. And in simple terms, that means renting a property from a landlord and then renting the individual rooms out to tenants. If it's managed well, the property generates monthly cash flow. It's still early days, but I look at this as the wealth accelerator. Because the reality is a job alone probably won't get me to my financial goals, at least not as quickly. So the idea is to build something alongside investing that produces additional income. And if that income eventually covers my expenses, then I'll look at leaving the 9-to-5 and working on this full time. But that's the long-term goal. Right now, it's just building things step by step. Eventually, once my investing grows further, The next account I'll probably start using is a SIP, a self-invested personal pension. This is a bit closer to the US 401k system. The big advantage with this SIP is tax relief. For every £100 you invest, the government adds 25 in tax relief. So 100 becomes 125 invested, which is a strong incentive for long-term retirement investing. The trade-off though is that the money's locked away until retirement age, so it's less flexible than an ISA. So, the way I look at the structure is pretty simple. Savings ISA for emergency fund and stability, stocks and shares ISA for long-term investing and growth, workplace pension for retirement with employer matching, and later on potentially a SIP. Different accounts, different purposes, but all working together. This is the strategy I'm currently using to invest here in the UK. Nothing overly complicated, just using the tools available, ISAs for tax-free investing, employer pension contributions, and slowly building additional income streams alongside that. Because wealth usually isn't built in one big move. It's built through a lot of small decisions made consistently over time.